Hi folks, so it's time for the decisive game between Greece and the USA. It's 4-3 in favor of the USA at the moment, and we have Francis now playing Night's Watch Valyrian Steel in place of Stelios, and Andy is again playing Bara Assault from the Shadows, and we join it in round 1. Quite interesting actually that the one obvious victory condition here for Baratheon, Throne and Chamber, which can be can kind of counter the wall, has been it's going to be put to the test here, because there's a throne on the other side right from the start, and Knights which usually will have more of a board, and if the wall is in play, strength on everyone. So looking alright from the start for Greece here, I think. He's used one gold gaining effect after drawing cards. Wonder if he's calculated the whole marshalling phase. Probably not, because in Valyrian Steel you would expect to draw additional cards if you play an attachment, so can't really plan everything, but he has two of them, so he can still get 2 more gold in marshalling if he wants it. And I think Edric, very important in this matchup to win the dominance battle. Four gold left. Now what could be in Shadows for 4 gold? Probably nothing, but Shadow Priestess is 3. And if he's put a non-shadow card in Shadows, it's missing some gold to play something like Storm's End. Fresh recruits. Now what do you search for? What's the key cards? I guess Seasoned Woodsman is one of them. No, goes for Halder. Aemon, Halder and Raging Party. Have to be slightly careful about Sin in Flames if you're going to keep the wall in hand and not marshal it, for instance. It seems useless to marshal it here because you're not going to defend it, but yeah. And he's thrown a Hand's Judgment away already. And the Sweet Sleep, which theoretically can counter Traitor, but it doesn't really work out because Traitor goes on few targets, Seasoned Woodsman being one of them, and Sweet Sleep kind of sucks on there. Interesting though to throw it away for Old Forest Hunter, because if he doesn't plan to use the agenda, he could as well put it on someone like Delena and just gain gold that way. Then you still have Old Forest Hunter's ability. And Lord Commander goes, okay. So all the icons, but no wall. But also we have Late Summer Feast. And I think it's gonna draw one here, and then maybe Black Cells will lock on. Also, Andy might want to win a challenge with the Acolyte, because currently there is a card in Shadows and might not come out. Ah, it was an econ location in fact. Okay, Edric chooses Owen, that's what? Still a win, yeah, easy win for ending dominance, so Francis does a challenge. Thought maybe Acolyte would go, because Alistair still provides some use with... actually, this deck doesn't play Morgulis, right? Thought we discovered that the other time when we watched the game, so Morgulis is not in the Greek deck, but the Harris is. Now we'll see some digging. That's decent enough, but you can't win without the ball, I think. Gained 1 gold with Woodsman. I dig until I got it, I think. There we are. On the one target that can take it.
So, what do you think, Mika? How is it looking for Greece?
It's not looking good. I like the prospect of the throne, but honestly, no wall, and he has control of some challenges. It's basically allow the intrigue to happen here, but none of the others, so slightly premature with Bastard Knightsong. He has nothing to take. So could be slow, but he has power and dominance, right?
Yeah, he could take one power.
He wins power challenge, he wins unopposed military even. Card is in shadows, of course, and we have serious training and practice blade in the deck, so would be too quick to just say it's going to be unopposed, but he can in theory push 2 challenges through and has a good chance to win dominance if something defends here, of course, at least. Yeah, and it does.
You said that you think this is, in general, a good matchup for Night's Watch?
It was Forest Patrol, but the strength's going down now. Yeah, Night's Watch having the wall from the start, I mean, and all the strength, and actually out strengthening Bara in the dominance battle is quite tough, right? If you go super wide, then the black cells and a little bit of Nil can't control the challenges phase that much, but yeah, first game didn't go that way, and this one so far is not going that way either, but it's still early. But then some Valyrian steel decks have a better plotline against this Bara assault than others, and I think this one, I don't have the deck list in front of me, but I think doesn't have Morgulis, just the Duharis as the reset. And Bara has both, so if you had to go through 2 Duharis and 2 Morgulises, Bara, okay, on really small boards is fine, but not if then Melisandre is in the dead pile, and Eldon and Delena and whatever else. He threw Lord Commander away. I mean, no one can take it, that's the problem. That's why I dropped Lord Commander in my deck, even last year, and this year I didn't feel the need to revisit that. It can be nice, and in the late game it can get some power in close games, right? But you need also bodies to take it, and it can be tricky, and then sometimes it just goes for reserve or whatever, because you can't play it immediately after you draw it sometimes, and there's other options, I think.
I think you had it last year and then dropped it this year.
I had it in testing, but not in the tournament. I think I dropped it before the tournament last year.
Okay. Let the record show that I disagree with that choice.
Yeah, we were basically last year, 2024, I tested 2 extremely different versions, well, extremely different, 2 different versions of the deck. So one was based on Argento's version, had high 30s for characters, and had Morgulis and Duharis, and then the version that Alex Franz played, which was below 30 characters in a 75 card deck, and had 2 exchange of information, and then the anti-reset stuff, the Crown and Forgotten Plans. And then in the end I kind of made a mix, but more towards Argento's side. And I looked at all of the posted decks, and there was always this dilemma for people whether they take Lord Commander or Catapult, which was also a 3-cost attachment. And I thought Catapult was really nice. Ideally you'd have both, but when you reach that number 18, 19, you can't really squeeze any more in, so something has to go.
I mean, honestly, yeah, sorry. But say looking at this, what the board status and what cards are in play, I don't see how this is a good matchup for Night's Watch, honestly. Even just if you have Throne and Chamber, I feel like if you have Throne and Chamber, you surely have more than the wall, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's assuming you are winning dominance. Traitor doesn't go on anyone, and there's Edric, but then opponent has a bunch of strength in the walls there, and in this case also Francis has Iron Throne as well. But imagine, right, that this is in play, the Lena, Melisandre, Bastard Nightsong, and then Morgulis is played, right? You have 4 cards in hand, maybe you try to defend Red Keep, and opponent has a bunch, and potentially Crester as well. And you don't get through those resets better than Night's Watch, I think.
I mean, I can't imagine how you're not winning power challenges here.
There could be more stuff coming in. One ranging party was discarded earlier for intrigue claim.
I
Could
mean,
be
also
missed.
that's just 4 gold, so I don't know how much you realistically marshalling.
Well,
Well, well.
that can be denied with black cells at the moment. If you lock the power icon, the shadows, whatever it is, shadow tower mason, right?
Presumably it's Shadow Priestess, right? Anyway, so. Oh, sorry, I
Acolyte.
thought it was a shadow card.
Well, noble lineage would solve it, I think.
I mean, even Sweet Sleep.
He threw his bit slip away.
Oh, also now you can't really put noble lineage on anything because he defended with this guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, do we have anything here? I don't know the deck, if there's any magical off to Galton in it or something like that, but I doubt it. I think you just have to concede the wall and see what the dominance situation is like.
Something else? I don't know. I don't think you can win dominance with Edric's ability.
Thinking about doing military, perhaps.
I mean, if he does military, then has to also defend it, but he can't even really defend it right now.
Well, not to win, but let's see. So let's assume Edric at the moment takes Owen, so we have what? 13 on one side, and on the other side we have 16, so that's still pretty close. So I think Francis will attack, the two challenges. And then I think you might have to leave lose intrigue, I think. Because if you defend well enough to win, well, okay.
Anyway.
Too much for me to calculate. But yeah, I think he has it. And he has it almost certainly, unless he really nails out everything here.
Yeah, but he can't defend Intrigue Andy anyway against Owen.
Yeah, of course, then yeah, it's pointless even to oppose if he attacks, so yeah. I think he needs to stay standing in that calculation where Francis is competing for dominance. So you attack with Aemon and then if it's defended by 6, but never mind, because he hasn't defended military, so that Bastard Night Song still there standing, so now it's not really on. So Andy should get dominance and he will get red keep draw again. So the only way this becomes interesting is if suddenly Andy has to Morgulis himself without dupes.
Oh, but that's a good hit for Sirius and Francis. But yeah, I guess it doesn't go on anything anyway.
Well, the fact that he has 7 characters and can't defend the wall is really bad, and on the power challenge as well.
But that's, I guess, with the Sentinel stand decks, right? You have a spread. I mean, you don't have a lot of Falcon. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There are more ones.
Yeah, wall has to be triggering for the rest of the game, I think, and maybe a seized on the Iron Throne to make sure you also have dominance. And then I think his power gain will be better than Andy's.
Seized on black cells.
Has barring. That's useful in the matchup, I suppose.
Ah, but you can put an on character in shadow if you like.
And the initiative this time for Francis. Did Andy open? Oh, he does not have the maiden here. Yeah. I mean, you can't invest too much in the initiative battle. Okay, normally you would have Clash of Kings. This deck doesn't have it. But just against these decks that also play plots like Baring and Smith that are not super high on initiative, I think it's really key to have the maiden in Bar Assault, because going second so much better than going first. Now he basically has to see if there's an opening and maybe attack there, otherwise he kind of has to pass, and then Nightswatch can think what they can push through. I mean, you can do all 3 individual challenges because Nightswatch has to defend, but still. You can't do that overcommit on the power challenge, right, that you could as a second player. Dupe, quite important, and we have Storm's End, so if he has more of that power challenge control, that's really nice. Needing the encampments, well, it helps in the dominance battle, but if you should lose it ever, that's not fun.
Has 13 gold left.
Yeah, that's why I think he will not be in trouble here. Unless there's a surprise seized on the throne, for instance.
13 gold.
But still. And the 1 copy of Eldon. If he is there, he can stand the encampments if the worst happens.
And even they start nerd, there will be so much equal still. I mean, so much. A lot. He just uses it. By the way, does he need 10 effing gold? Guess figures that it's gonna help him win dominance. Yes, I don't see how he would possibly even lose, but okay.
Yeah, what's the... I mean, there's no card that costs 10.
No, I think he's just calculating that if he has Miminting, if he has more.
Would it not be better to just keep Eldon in case you maybe can do double Storm's End or something? Now he should probably... I mean, yeah, with Storm's End you still attack power twice to try to nail the wall, but okay, here's a 3rd icon, so now surely there's enough of them. Have to maybe lock the one with Guard Duty.
And Guard Duty doesn't work.
Oh, you can't even do it anyway, yeah, that's true. Well, there is Nightmares, I think, still, but...
Oh.
Chamber. Now you cannot ever lose dominance as Night's Watch. Game's not winnable.
but you are losing. Maybe there's milk for Edric. You can start thinking about it. He looked at the big one, I guess.
Imagine milking Edric in this deck. There's Melisandre going around. By the way, Melisandre hasn't knelt anything yet. And there could still be Syrian Flames.
I have a feeling that there are no Sinnet Flames in this deck.
Oh, not at all.
I know that one didn't have it that we looked at, I think. Pretty sure.
I played for a long time without Syrian Flames. I mean, deck has so many things it needs that, okay, you can't have everything. Yeah, here's where going first sucks, right? He'd like to do the power challenges because they need to be defended and then all the power icons are spent. But he has to be careful about the dominance battle. Ooh, okay, he's just putting Bastard Nightsong in there.
Pretty brave. He has 8 for dominance in Edric, but there's like a 9 strength forest patrol that you have to beat. There's a 7 strength grizzled miner, so I don't know.
And all the power on the faction card.
Change this to power.
I mean, it makes it fizzle completely. So I would do that.
I don't see why not. Or maybe you don't want to lose intrigue more.
Yeah, but intrigue, I mean, is slightly problematic. If Owen attacks, you can't change that to power. Okay, he's not gonna defend. He's also probably keeping an eye on... Is the Bastard of Nightsong going here? He has the Harris and Morgulis. He's not gonna avoid both, so the Harris will have to be...
Eldon.
Eldon claimed, okay. Well, good job he used it before.
Eat.
Yeah, it...
Also, if you're not changing this to power, what was the point of not?
Okay, what's the dominance now? We'll see in 2 seconds. Ooh, it's not close. Francis has it by a lot.
So I don't know if it was worth doing the big power challenge then, right? Because, you know.
Well, gets him closer to victory, and if he could do it again next round.
In chamber, could he? I don't know. I guess not if there was such a big gap.
If he passed completely, he would win, I think. Could maybe even try to get the Bastard Nightsong on defense if Francis then attacked.
Does Stelios have, Francis have anything that's anti-reset?
Well, think Stelios Francis still has
It is Stelios' deck, so I guess what.
Smith and O'Harris. What the last plot is, I don't know. It's Forgotten Plans, okay.
That I guess doesn't do anything, right? Oh, does it do something?
So now we have the Harris and then potentially another Harris. So what was the... So apart from Mogulis, what's Andy still playing that he wanted not to get hit by Forgotten Plans?
Yeah, I don't know. But I thought the Harris was kinda, you know, I don't say obvious, but obvious. So he has Margulis still in the deck, and what's the other one?
It's a mystery.
Okay. Oh, Siege Prep, okay.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
So that's coming in the next one, maybe. Well, depends. Depends on the situation, I guess.
Margulis stuff. Traitor's now back, also.
We'll go on the other woodsman. A bit of strength, but not a lot of nillable attachments or locations at the moment in play.
And also I need to find more power icons, I guess.
And by the way, Francis has played, this is round 5, he's played one econ location apart from that, Gates of the Moon.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the other game where we watched was also Econ was also really weak.
Yeah, it's not that weak
I was
towards the end.
It's pretty weak. I was looking at what Stelios could have done in the other game, and it was kind of harsh against like against the econ that he had as well. But I mean, if he doesn't have another power icon, that's kind of another. Oh no, Greenwich, that's good. I was gonna say that that's another power change that would have to be unopposed, kind of.
On Halder. Okay, maybe he's now also playing around Shadow Priestess a little bit. Two go left. Could turn into 3.
Or even 4.
Hmm.
I have a suspicion though that he will pass.
This is the kind of matchup where that could be used.
I don't know if he has no military icons. I will maybe just do a military challenge that has to be closed. I don't know.
And look at those knelt encampments now. Used Eldon and then even re-knelt it and lost dominance by 10.
I thought he for sure has it with so much. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think he has it now because, you know.
He might have it, but really, he could have just kept. I mean, it's not like he's struggling to pay for stuff, right? I don't think he was gonna play out everything, even if he had the gold, because there's so much time he'll have to Morgulis. So anything that's not duped, I think is not getting played. Although it doesn't have that many uniques. Eldon's just the one I think we established, so just Melisandre already. Also has an Andrew Estermont, which he can use on the Morghulis turn if he gets him for power gain. Now Francis even trying to squeeze some unopposed. Not fun to claim anything, so why not, for instance, do the Storm's End here, make it fizzle. Yeah. Defending.
Maybe he wants to use it on attack.
It's not slow so far. Bit of thinking, but nothing too much. I think you are allowed to think in this game. Okay, so passing means 13 for Francis for dominance without the wall. 12 for Andy, so has to do challenges really. What did he lock? Shadow Tower Mason. No, he nailed Shadow Tower Mason, he locked Halder. Okay, so I think power. Then if Halder boosts, then you do another power. Okay, he's just doing power. That's fair enough. That may be same as committing to dominance. Still tricks in hand though. Water Dancer, Sword. Catapult's not in the deck, right? Or is it? Catapulting Edric. That would be a decent play. On Delena. That allows Castle Black to be used.
But is that enough? Maybe he just wants to oppose and get the dominance. Because if you oppose and get the dominance, you got more than if you just didn't do challenge. You need a lot more strength. 1, 2, 3, 4.
He does have 5. He can kneel Sentinel stand.
Yeah, because he doesn't need it anymore.
It will affect dominance though, if he nails it.
Ah, yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
The other one he can now win on defense, I think. If the other Shadow Priestess attacks. Still a card in Shadows, which we don't know. But nothing I can think of that will come out, so yeah. You know, I would not have killed Eldon that time.
Well, we know because you like Eldon.
Even double black cells and then you clear your way for the power challenges. It's 10-7 because he can't win dominance. Even with Edric. Can't deny the wall, so okay, he's getting some power challenges. And now he doesn't have, of course, Clash of Kings in the deck, so...
And he's gonna have to play Morghulis eventually.
He plays Morghulis, Aemon saves... a power icon. Francis has card advantage.
Maybe just save Halder, I don't know, because Halder's pretty good. Against, like, I don't know.
To play it here, because... going round 7 with that Morgulis revealed can suck. So yeah, getting rid of it, or maybe getting rid of it, maybe it does something, maybe Francis doesn't recover that well, but I think if some attachments going, and then you can redraw, it's not the worst.
Yeah.
Could save Woodsman. He can draw better than anything. He saves the big one, okay.
I mean, the big one that can take traitor, right?
Mm-hmm. And Woodsman also had the most attachments that can be replayed, but okay, that's once per phase, so unless you specifically add Woodsman, then you're not getting that much. Smith will kneel. Black says Storm's End and Red keep, presumably Chamber, even if needed. Yeah, there's nothing here to kneel, so.
Yeah, but I think it's probably fair enough to play Morgulis here. Before, I mean, I feel like one thing that, like, I never watched one of these games where Morgulis was good for the Bara player.
No, Baratheon's doing really well in this tournament, and they keep having to play against around their own Morgulis, but they are succeeding.
Yeah, but it is like, it feels like it's not in their favor.
No, it's not. It's not a good choice. I don't know what but all three have included it. So if you had Clash of Kings here, it would be so much better. Go second, have that plot. So yeah, that's now an enormous board coming. So I think Francis is a massive favorite at this point.
Although he has to play around Shireen and stuff, so it's not completely like.
Oof.
Because I think he now has.
Get some of those attachments, and not forget the Smith completely.
What I was gonna say is he has the power icon attachment. Name escapes me for some reason.
Noble Lineage.
That one. In hand, right? Because it was on one reducer. Second traitor the most successfully if that's the one card that you do have in shadow. Which presumably you do because you have one gold conveniently.
I wonder what he's gonna do now with Smith. Okay, if he gets 1,000 more attachments. Honestly, Black says I would kneel. Ooh, he didn't kneel anything. Okay. They are usable for Harder, and strength might matter. Yeah. And I honestly don't think that Chamber will trigger, and Storms and Red Keep are questionable, but Black says I'd kneel.
Yeah, I think I need to kneel Black cells at least. I don't know.
Well, that could cost him. Now there's a character that can't kneel and contributing nothing for dominance. And well, it's 0 claim, so even if power challenges are done, actually, End is not achieving that much. Even with that, I think we can call it misplay. I think France is doing alright here. That denies the red keep. I think he'll change this to power. Yeah.
Could have attacked one power with Shireen though, because she works with red keep, right?
Mm-hmm. But this is still a thing.
Yeah.
That iron damage should have been available. I mean, even doing military here on this small board. I think he forgot the Smith, honestly. I think it wasn't any kind of tactical decision.
Yeah, but iron element is available, you know. He locked.
Oh, Seasoned Woodsman he locked. Ah, of course. Okay. Sorry. I thought he locked Iron Emmet. Because Seasoned Woodsman now will contribute to dominance. He's winning dominance anyway. Pretty clear now. Can't push power through though, but he'll get unopposed.
Can't push power, but yeah.
So and he has siege prep, and then he'll have to find another magical plot.
I mean, but if he attacked with Shireen, he could have pushed unopposed power.
I think he might have. I certainly would have had a chance.
Yeah, because Season Woodsman was locked and only 2 defenders, right?
Mm-hmm. Everything kept now for Francis, so yeah, I think
Also for Andy.
now he'll have to get Imri, I think. And then with Storm's End, he can try to win. Maybe Imri's the card in Shadows. It's better if you have Clash of Kings. Milk still hasn't been played at any point, so
I think I will have to go before this game is done.
oh,
Have to go take the dog outside.
oof, okay, no gold left for Imri.
Well, he does have 3 of these laughing storms. So.
Maybe now's the time to play that Shireen sequence better. But I think Francis will vomit out any power icons he still has. Yeah.
He's just gonna get the small builders.
I think in the end,
This one I thought he... Yeah.
in the end, I think it is what we kind of alluded to, right? The plot deck is, if you have to play all the rounds, maybe it's not that tight. Could have done with, I mean, Feast for Crows when he was winning dominance would have been great. In the second half, he started to lose it, but Clash of Kings would have worked at some point really nicely. And yeah, I mean, going second is the thing that you kind of need in this matchup. I think this is game now, so we're going to have a decider. I guess you can't not mention it that when they first played this game, it looked one for Baratheon. We did find some kind of theoretical sequence where that gap could have been closed in one round, but it was just theoretical. It was never gonna happen. So
It would require Baratheon player to have 0 playable characters, which we assumed he would have. He had a natural shadow card, and he, I think, didn't sack Black Cells for Imri trigger. I don't know.
yeah.
You said he didn't do it, but I don't remember because it disconnected me before. So I suppose it wasn't Black Cells dupe. So
Yeah.
that would imply that he had a playable character. So yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So feel sorry for the USA here a little bit, but they have another chance to win the Champions game, and I don't know who's going to play that, but they have at least 2 decks that I can immediately think of that are doing really well. The Lenny Crossing's doing really well, and I think Stark Filthy's lost a couple, but Stark Filthy that they have is also quite solid. So those could be their choices, for instance.
You have to block with 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. And what
Okay.
what does Greece do in the potential Champions Challenge?
I don't know what they.
Book has been doing really well with both of his decks, Lenny, Prince, and Tyrell, Wolf. So
But yeah.
Wouldn't necessarily want to play that against Stark though.
Yeah.
He's gonna
But
try
this is
to
still
push
not
this through.
control. Yeah, you push it through, but it's still gonna be opposed by the Sentinel stand. What's it called? The location. Haunted Forest.
Yeah, and it's even if you, I mean, you can win the challenge, but it's a minor victory because France is second player.
I mean, if you do another one, I think he just closes, right?
If he wins this, he can also do Laughing
he can
Storm.
do the- Yeah. Then he shouldn't have logged the Grizzled Miner, surely.
Milk on Delena, okay, that means Castle Black.
Yeah, but what will you do? I guess then this guy, but... I don't know, would it not be better to just do Milk on Quadri?
I don't know, I don't think he's that bothered. I mean, there's 2 standing characters for Andy. Game's lost.
Still, I think it would be better if you just didn't use the Castle Black on this challenge, but on the other power challenge, maybe. On something that doesn't have traitor. But yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Can do challenge back, okay.
I think he can pass here.
But yeah, anyway. But it's always better to do an extra challenge, you know? Especially with the one that has traitor on.
Well, if it wasn't 15 power, there was still some hope for Andy. We held him on 14 to top deck Imri and close it when time expired, but no. Yeah.
Okay.
It is what it is. On Sunday, Liechtenstein and France are... Liechtenstein and China are playing. Not sure when these are playing, but I think also might be Sunday, so maybe even some streaming is in order. But yeah, looking good for Andy early on. Maybe, I don't know if he could have done anything differently. I guess he was in the late game, he was always going to run into these problems that Night's Watch will have more strength once the wall is found, and plots, you have to start playing plots that you don't like necessarily, so yeah, needed to somehow close it before that. Or maybe, I don't know, delay Morgulis until this round, have a slightly better round the round before, but I don't know, then you play 0 claim plot on the final round with no board, so either way it's not great. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair enough, this analysis. I also had a feeling that Night's Watch had better options here, better chances here, and in the first game it was really Stelios not having the wall all game that kind of decided it here. Of course, that was not the situation. So let that be it for this one. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.